Okay, so here I am once again, flustered about a situation that occurred on the home front, and I feel like I need to vent. I need to get this out. I need to share it with the world, because this is something that had me on the edge of something that could have gone bad. It didn't, but I was right there. So there's certain things that, as the head of a household, as the patriarch, as the king of the castle, there's certain things that I'm not going to tolerate. There's certain things that I'm not going to tolerate when it comes to things that are supposed to be a certain way in the house. Now, I don't lay down the law on much, but there are places where I draw the line. So the situation that I'm speaking on came about when I went into the bread box to get some bread out to make a grilled cheese sandwich, which is one of the great culinary treats of all time. If you are not a fan, I probably will be judging you, and I probably don't trust you. But that's not the issue. The issue is when I went into the bread box to get my bread out, and I said there's a couple of things that I won't tolerate as the head of the household. I don't like unrequested change. I do not like unrequested change. I like what I like, and I like it when I like it, and I like it how I like it. And there's no negotiation on that. There's no gray area with this. So I go to get the bread out of the bread box, and I reach in to grab my Nature's Own honey wheat bread in the orange bag. And alas, there is no Nature's Own honey wheat bread in the orange bag in the bread box to be had. So I look around, and I see, is it already out somewhere in the kitchen? Is it already, and I see nothing. So I asked the wife, who's the matriarch. I say, hey, where is the bread? She said, well, there's bread in the bread box. I said, no, there's not. I said, I went in and there's no bread in there. She said, well, yes, there is bread. It's just not it's not the bread that we normally have. Wait a minute. I don't remember requesting that we get different bread. Again, I say I don't like unrequested change. And I've been eating this bread for at least 20 years that I can recall, if not longer. So I look in there again, and I see the bread that she's speaking on. I take this bread out, and it's in a clear bag. And it says on the bag, BRIOCHE something. Brioche bread. I don't know what that is. I just know it. I opened it up, and it smelled funny. I looked at it, and it looked funny. It wasn't shaped right. It was shaped rectangle. And it was smaller than regular bread would normally be. I reach in and I touch it, and it feels like a dishwashing sponge. It don't have the holes in it that the normal bread. So at this point, I'm on my way to being upset, because I'm like, okay, first of all, who authorized that this bread will come into the house? You don't change a man's bread, and you don't change a man's toilet paper without his consent and without his agreement. You don't do that. I like the toilet paper I like the bread I like. You don't change them two things on me without saying nothing to me about it. So at this point, I ain't on 10, but I'm on 8. Now, I look at the bread again. I said, I'm trying to make a grilled cheese sandwich. She said, okay, well, put the cheese on it and put the butter, make your grilled cheese. I can't just make a grilled cheese sandwich on some bread that ain't been tested. I don't know how this bread hold up under heat. I don't know how this bread hold up under I don't know what this bread do. I don't know nothing about this bread. This is some strange bread. This is some bread. I'm not gonna try this bread. It don't feel right. It don't smell right. It don't look right. It just feel like it's all wrong. So I'm not saying that I'm not Ike and she ain't Tina, but when I tell you, this is how things go left in a household. It all starts with some I'm trying to be respectful. But when I saw that bread, and when you say to me, just make the sandwich with no regard to the level of upset that I'm dealing with right now, that that I'm not able to make my grilled cheese sandwich with my regular Nature's Own honey wheat bread in the orange bag that I'm used to, do you have any concern about that whatsoever? None. I'm not saying, you ain't seen a book, boy.